the one, the only, Ben Sion. Good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Double. Today we're doing Pesachim Perek Beis Mishnah Ches, and we'll start Perek Gimel Mishnah Aleph. Mishnah Ches says, "Ein nosnin es hakembach l'charoses." Not supposed to put flour, if you had flour on Pesach. Flour is not a problem unless you add water, but most people don't have flour in their house. You put it in the charoses. Let's say there now you have the charoses. Don't put it in there. Old tavachard, I'll turn the mustard. If you do it, you have to eat it right away, because as opposed to water, which takes 18 minutes for it to become chametz, if it's something which is sharp, chardal or charoses, you have some sharp vinegar in there, so it'll be machmetz quicker. So therefore, you have to eat it right away. Meir oser. Meir says even miyad you shouldn't eat it because rechoshi became chametz. We don't pass like a Meir. In mavashna it's a Pesach. Lo b'mashkin lo peros. This is a halacha about the Korban Pesach, the lamb chops that you cook for your Korban Pesach. You shouldn't cook it, not in water, and also not in any type of liquid, and not in fruit juice. However, after you cook the lamb chops, you can put any type of sauce on it, right? You can dip it any type of dip you want. Because that's not cooking it. A baker, someone who's making matzahs, and he takes his hands from the flour and he cleans them off in the water. Those water with the flour in it, you should throw. And you should spill them in a place where they're not going to stagnate in one place. If they stagnate in one place, it'll turn into chametz, and it's in your rishus. That's a problem on Pesach. Aleph, they used to cook matzah, bake matzah on Pesach. Aleph, elu over the Pesach. The following things have to be removed before Pesach, right? You have to destroy them because it's a violation potentially of Bali Rabali Matzeh. Kutach habavli. This is a type of an ancient type of dip they used to have, a milchik type of dip. It had old pieces of bread in it. V'sheichar amadai, it was edible. V'sheichar amadai, beer from Madai, they used to put in barley. V'chometz ha'adomi, vinegar from Adomi, from Esav. Where does Esav live? Who is Esav nowadays? Esav was the one who asked his father. He said, "Do you take off how much trumas and maishos do you take off from salt?" Who would ask such a question? V'chometz ha'adomi. V'zeisum hamitzri. Chometz ha'adomi. V'zeisum hamitzri. This is also, zeisum hamitzri is basically a drink they used to make in Egypt that had some barley in it. All these things are edible by people. Now, the following things after this, we're talking about things that are chametz nuksha, which are things which are midrabanan aser and bali ra bali matzeh. They're not edible for people, they're edible for dogs. People who paint, right? The paint, need to thicken the paint. You put actual flour in there. Also, you want to coat the top of a pot, to cover a pot. They would put dough over there. V'kol shel sofrim, that was inedible. V'kol shel sofrim, also when people make certain types of svarim, scrolls, they used to want to tape it together. They put some dough over there. Even tachshite nashim, which were a combination of chametz nuksha, right? When they made this, talking about they used to use dough to remove the hair from the body, from pubic hair. So after tachshite nashim, Elazar says even when it's a combination of chametz nuksha, of other things and chametz nuksha, which is inedible for people but edible for klavim, he even asked her. The Rabbanan don't hold like that. We don't hold like Rabbi Elazar. Zakal kol shem min dog and harei over a Pesach. Anything which comes from grain, you have to get rid of it. Now, you get, here it's taught at the end of the Mishnah, according to the Rav Tanur, it's about eating them. If you eat these things, at least the first things, the ones that are edible, that are taroves, you're not allowed to lav. But you don't get kares for eating it, because the Gemara says uniquely that even though elsewhere in the Torah it's called achila, if you have kazayis v'achilas pras, if it's a mixture of that and other things, when it comes to chametz, it has to be be'en, it has to be complete chametz, like a piece of bread. If it's a mixture, even though there's a kazayas v'achilas pras of chametz, you would get a malchus, a lav, but you would not be chayav kares unless it's be'en, unless it's complete chametz, like a piece of bread. I'll explain the rationale behind that Ian Mitzion coming up next.